It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Absolutely, my man. You know what? A scary fact, allergy medication is costing the country over 480 million rand a year, with unit sales more than doubling in the last year. Allergies have a massive impact on the economy, with the biggest consequence being a loss in productivity. The question is, if the situation in the country worsen, are we possibly heading for an allergy epidemic? So here to give us some more insight into their findings is Pharma Dynamic spokesperson Wilmy Hudsonberg. Wilmy, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Hi.
I'm so glad we're talking about this, because I think so many people, like we obviously know, suffer from allergies, but they might not even know about it. Why is it so bad in South Africa? What led us to this point?
You're absolutely right. South Africa has got one of the highest prevalence of allergic disorders in the world. And if you consider, are we geared up for it? You know, do we actually have all the support and all the education out there to kind of help with this epidemic that's on its way? We only have 10 registered allergists in South Africa and only 4 dedicated allergy clinics. If we look at food labelling, is that up to scratch at the moment? And also in schools, do schools and headmasters know about all the children in their school that suffer from allergies who could potentially have an asthma attack on the school grounds?
That is very interesting. I mean, I didn't even know something like food labels. And, you know, speaking about school, when I was at school, it was definitely not a topic when it comes to allergies. So what are some of the current stats with regards to allergies in South Africa?
Stats in South Africa is very limited, but if you look at what is available, about 19 million South Africans suffer from allergies. 30% of those suffer from nasal allergies. And if you consider that back in the day, we all used to suffer from seasonal rhinitis. So in season change, then our allergies hit. Now we see the prevalence of perennial rhinitis increasing. So people have that nasal inflammation throughout the year. And that also, as you previously mentioned, doesn't help with the correct diagnosis of it. Yeah. So allergies now get confused with the common cold and flu. 1.8 million South African children suffer from asthma, also a devastating figure. I mean, are they aware of the fact that they're suffering from asthma? Yeah. Do they have the right access to medication? Do they keep their inhalers with them all the time? So the stats are really alarming.
Yeah, and especially when it comes to children and asthma, I think, you know, the awareness needs to be created, yes, especially around the parents, so that, you know, that's not just a, oh, my child is a little bit sickly, you know. In fact, it could be like an asthma allergy. You know what, you spoke about seasonal allergies as well, and I suffer from seasonal allergies, and I know what impact it has on my life. So, I mean, what allergy in general, what impact does it have on allergy sufferers? I mean, you know, especially with regards to productivity at the workplace, maybe.
Absolutely. Quality of life has got the most influence with allergy sufferers. You know, if you consider the symptoms, the nasal stuffiness, the itchy, watery eyes, if you're trying to concentrate or be productive, you probably won't be if your symptoms aren't under control. But even if you look at children at school, they're struggling to learn. When you're suffering from the symptoms, you also have problems sleeping. So what we also see is that children are being branded and isolated. You know, they might be perceived as having learning difficulties or behavioral difficulties because they're fidgety in class all the time and they're not concentrating, and they don't learn as well as they should because their symptoms isn't under control. So it's got a massive impact on everybody's quality of life and at the workplace productivity. If you're not staying at home because you're feeling badly, so it affects absenteeism. But when you're at work, also not being quite as productive as you could be.
I mean, it's not fun sitting behind your desk with a runny nose and itchy eyes, and it's horrible, and you have a phlegmy chest. Let's talk about some of the treatments available out there for different allergies. I mean, what can we stand to do, and also what are you guys as a leading pharmaceutical company in South Africa doing to kind of avoid or try and avoid this allergy epidemic that we are facing?
Yes. The first thing that we are doing is talking about it. The more we talk about it, the more awareness we create, the better. We need to make sure that all the allergy sufferers are aware of the fact that they first of all suffer from an allergy, and they need to speak to the healthcare practitioners so that they can get that diagnosis. We also have a website, allergyexpert.co.za, where people can go and have a look at different conditions. There's lots of information in there, and they can also post allergy allergy-related questions on there.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to be able to educate people with that. Vilmi, thank you so much for joining us this morning, talking about allergies, and we got some comments from our viewers as well. I just want to read some of the ones that caught our attention. Firstly, Ntabi Seni Rasana says she's allergic to pineapple and fish, which gives her a rash on her face and her body. Then Santa Angel Moletsane says anything with nuts and dust gives me a very bad itchy rash. So you can just definitely see that there's a lot of allergies going around with a lot of people out there. But we would love to know from you, do you suffer from allergies? Connect with us, continue the conversation on our social media pages, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3, also on Twitter @Expresso. So remember to use that hashtag Expresso. Let's find out what is coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast Show this morning.